Action fanatics, welcome to another edition of the Bulletproof podcast. I'm your host, Chris the Brain, and joining me, as always, it is the Toy Man, Christy Petrillo.
It is time to get eliminated tonight on the Bulletproof podcast.
Oh, you're leaving? You're done with the show? I think the people everywhere are just, I don't know, they're either mourning or celebrating. I don't know, but I do know that Ryan Campbell is joining us as well.
That's right. Swung by my grandma's and got the old box of rando toys, and I'm ready to talk about this treat of a movie you guys introduced me to.
I'm so happy that you were happy, and we'll get more into that. But you know what? I talked last time about my Letterboxd project, where I was logging
You're putting in the work over there.
Every movie I reviewed on bulletproofaction.com over on my personal letterbox, which is Chris the Brain. And you can also follow the Bulletproof Action letterbox, which is Bulletproof Pod. Easy for me to say. Let's now guess, and by the time this drops, this will be up by about one or two. What do you think my final number was, Toyman, when I completed all the logging of all the movies I reviewed on bulletproofaction.com? What was the final number?
It's a 4-digit number.
Okay.
I'm going to say 1,400.
Oh, all right. Ryan Campbell, what do you have to say?
1120.
You both went high, but Ryan was closer. It was 1,074.
I was close. I was pretty close. I didn't go over.
Everybody went over. But yeah, 1,000 again. It probably could be 1,070. Definitely 1,075.
I was trying to remember last time. I thought you said that you were
at about almost 600. I think.
Yeah, and I was trying to just double that and get around that general area.
Right.
So that's pretty close.
Again, it started to slow down a bit, and in some of those years that I hadn't done yet, we had more guests and more writers and more whatever. But yeah, 1,074 is still a freaking lot of movies that I've watched. And a lot of those, when I was going through, I'm like, I have no recollection of ever watching this movie. But
there's got to be some you missed too, because there's ones that like maybe you watched but didn't write a review or.
I definitely watched more movies. Yeah, even if I just did 10 things or I did some other movie, or I was getting, but yeah. 1,074 again.
Or if there were a certain amount of bastards within the first 20 minutes, you just turned it off.
Oh yeah, there's tons of movies of those kung fu movies that I like in my book. I'm like, I got to like the 24-minute mark. I'll come back to it. But some I have no recollection of. Other ones I can like exactly remember where I was and what I was doing and other things going on in life at the time. The memory is a strange thing that cannot be, you can't figure it out. But that again, 1,074, Chris the Brain on Letterboxd, or you can also follow Bulletproof Pod on Letterboxd as well. And it's all about what I reviewed on bulletproofaction.com. And coming up this week on bulletproofaction.com, a brand new edition of No Surrender Cinema, Toyman. I know you've been very excited to share this one with everyone.
I am. I mentioned it on the last podcast, but one of those hidden gems from Roger Corman. It's a movie called Under Oath that I purchased randomly so many years ago. It does reside in my collection, but while browsing YouTube for some review inspiration, I stumbled across a copy of it, and I was like, you know what? That's awfully convenient. Let's do this. So Under Oath will be the subject of No Surrender Cinema. It's a cop thriller. Like I said, it's in the vein of gang-related with Tupac and Jim Belushi, which is a great movie. I actually just rewatched that one recently. So yeah, I am very interested in talking about this one because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of talk about it out there in the internet.
Yeah, I had no idea this was a movie. So I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about it, and I might have to check it out sooner than later. I'll be checking out the brand new movie coming to Prime, The Wrecking Crew. Ryan, I know you mentioned this one last week. Big time action movie.
Yeah, we got Dave Bautista and
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa, yeah.
Yeah.
His name just totally escaped me. I'm getting old, brain. Stuff's starting to slip out. Like
That's
leak
just
out
what I
the
was
cracks, man.
talking about. The memory. You don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's Swiss cheese, like Dr. Sam Beckett. Also, I've already secured my tickets to see Shelter on Thursday night, the new Jason Statham movie, and then as a special bonus on Saturday, it's time to rumble. It's time for the Action Rumble. That's right, folks. I'm bringing the Action Rumble back. A whole new set of 30 action heroes and villains that will compete in an over-the-top rope extravaganza on Royal Rumble Saturday. So you can check that out this Saturday on bulletproofaction.com. And I think it's time to get into our main topic. It is a movie that will be also on Royal Rumble Saturday, celebrating its 40th anniversary. It is Eliminators, Toyman, Empire Pictures. They had some real gems back in the day, and this is certainly one of them.
Yeah, I mean, this was Charles Band's, this is kind of like the precursor to Full Moon. But
Right.
if you've ever seen the Ghoulies movies, those are favorites of mine growing up. Dolls, which was a precursor to Puppet Master, kind of in the same vein. We also got Troll, which spawned a sequel, which is one of the most infamous worst movies of all time, to the point where it has a documentary about being the worst movie of all time.
One of those movies I never finished watching. Like I got so far in and I'm just like, no, I'm not doing this. I refuse. And I still haven't gone back to finish it. And I may never. It's trash. But yes, this one isn't. Eliminators, let's first talk about how this has one of the greatest posters. Do you see that poster, Ryan Campbell? If you see that poster, how are you not going to watch this movie?
I assume the one here on IMDb is the one you're discussing, and yeah, that instantly sold.
Yeah,
and the ticket. It even has like a G.I. Joe-esque like aesthetic to it, like the drawing of it and everything.
Yes, sure does.
There's an explosion behind. Like you could see each one of those images being on a card back of a G.I. Joe figure or something.
Mm-hmm. And you got the tagline of Mandroid, Mercenary, Scientist, Ninja, each one a specialist. Together, they are
Eliminators. Which one is, I guess which one is, Fontaine's the mercenary. Okay.
Yeah.
Was Mandroid a common term in 86? Like, would people have known? I mean, I guess the context clues, if you're like a sci-fi or whatever, you can assume what it is, but was that something that was used? I've never heard. I only heard Mandroid used.
I don't think I did either until this movie. And this is a movie. I don't know about you, Toyman. Well, you probably know about it from that. I didn't know about this movie. Somehow this movie went under my radar. I found out about this movie on a little diginette called This. I was at work. I went on my break. I turned on the TV in the break room. I tuned in to this and I saw this masterpiece. And I said, what in the hell is this? How have I not known about this? And I assure you, I knew about it then. And it was not long before I was tracking it down and watching it in full and owning it. Having it in my physical media collection. Toyman, was this one you were familiar with back when it was first released?
When it was first released, I have a faint memory of the cover of it at the video store, but my first memories as far as gaining knowledge and actually watching it are back in the mid-2000s when I was surfing the internet and stumbling across movies to watch. This one popped up in a batch of movies very similar to the stuff that we like back when Mission of Justice, the Martial Laws, the Blood Fist movies, kind of like there was like an action collective online, and this was one of the movies that was available at the time. And then I acquired it, watched it. I was like, this movie's amazing, but then it kind of got lost among my collection. And funnily that you mentioned that you caught it on like a digital sub channel, like a broadcast channel. What reminded me of its existence, and I was like, oh my god, that movie rules. It's been so long. was it popped up on Comet TV probably
Yes.
about 10 years ago.
Yep.
Zach was a baby. I was, sitting with him on the couch. He's like, like 1 years old, 2 years old, and we're just sitting here, and I'm like, wait a minute, the Mandroid, and like everything kind of came
Yep.
flooding back, and it was on a couple of times that week, so I recorded it on the DVR, and this was right before my tenure at Bulletproof Action started, because this would have been perfect for a No Surrender cinema.
Yeah, Comet was awesome. It was kind of like it was all MGM. Like this was an MGM channel. Comet, it was beautiful. I don't know that Comet. I think they still have movies from time to time, but it's not like it used to be.
They do. No, they show like Friday the 13th, the series, the X-Files, stuff like that.
It's like only the weekends you might get a movie here and there, but
I was 6 weeks old when this movie came out.
Happy birthday. Yeah, so you probably didn't know about it.
I don't think so.
But let's get into it. Opening credits.
Received it as a baby gift.
Right.
Yeah. Bottle, blanket, and a copy of Eliminators.
Let's go.
That's nice. Opening credits. We see visuals of a pilot going down. We see visuals of the Roman Empire. I was like, what already? You're like, what? How do these things work?
Roman Centurion wasn't on the poster.
No. And we cut to a lab where we see Dr. Abbott Reeves and Takata as their time machine, a time machine they've built, and it's coming back from ancient Rome. And out of the time machine comes the Mandroid, and he's brought a Roman centurion shield as proof that he was there, Ryan Campbell.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. In no way could that shield be made with modern technology. It must have come from ancient Rome if it exists. So very shiny too.
It was. And then Takata checks on the Mandroid.
I time traveled to ancient Rome, and all I got was his T-shirt.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice. Mandroid says, I'm disoriented. He's got a problem with his like arm gun gimmick. Goes, oh, we'll take care of all that. And then we see Toyman that Reeves is not well. He's hooking himself up to some sort of machine.
Yeah, he's all scarred up. He's hooking himself up to some machine. So you're wondering, what's his ulterior motive here? Because if he's sending him back in time, is he searching for some type of fountain of youth? Is he trying to, get something that's going to aid in his predicament here? We still don't know, but we just get the vibe that he is not a good guy.
No.
I thought like maybe the artifacts he was bringing back, he could somehow siphon time energy out of them to like prolong his life. That's what I thought was going on. I was open to anything, Brain, in this movie.
I don't even know how any of that would work, but
he puts the shield in a big giant time blender, and then the juice flows through the tube into him. And somehow
that's like G.I. Joe the movie. We mentioned G.I. Joe, going and getting the DNA of history's, greatest evildoers. Was this kind of like a precursor to that?
There's time residue, Brain. When you bring an artifact back into our time, what you can do is you can harness that resident time displacement energy to then prolong his life.
I mean, yeah, anything's possible because, I saw Destro do some real interesting stuff. He had the elements that were like water that was in water, and the mass device. Oh, we probably need to eventually cover that. We were supposed to. That was on the docket at one time, but we'll get back around to it. Anyway, here's the surprising part. Well, if though any of this hasn't been surprising, it's all been surprising. What the hell are we watching? But yeah, Takata's told, all right, I have no further use for Mandroid. What? He's at the center of the poster. You can't get rid of him.
It just seems like a handy guy to have around too. It's not like he's like questioning his existence. Like he's a really loyal, walking Mandroid with a gun on his arm. It seems like a pretty handy person to have in a pinch.
Right. And he's like, yeah, clear his memory, dismantle him. We're done with him. And Takata's like, but he's half human. That doesn't. And he's like, show some compassion. Nobody showed me any compassion. So obviously Reeves has, we could see that he's physically not well. Something happened to him. Perhaps we'll one day get a prequel and find out how he came to be. Maybe a comic book series could be made. Takata then's like, okay, well, he's not going to do that. He's going to help Mandroid escape. And Reeves does pick up on this because he's all-knowing and has cameras and he can do all this stuff because he's evil. And he tells Mandroid, kill the traitor Takada, but Mandroid fights his programming, Ryan Campbell, which is not easy to do.
No, if movies have taught me anything, it's that Android with a chip in his head fighting off his programming is like one of the strongest, displays of power you can see. Fighting off those urges with what's left of their humanity.
RoboCop had to like electrocute himself to stop it from happening. But Mandroid does resist, but there's guards and they do shoot Takada. But before he dies, Mandroid gives him the name of Colonel Hunter. So now Mandroid has to fight his way out. We meet the head goon, Ray, who just has a real hatred for the Mandroid.
He don't like them clankers, brain.
He hates him. I mean, he's.
I thought he fought in the Clone Wars or something.
Right, he is like a Mandroid bigot. I mean, he does not like the Mandroid.
My guess is, brain, by the looks of this guy, that's not the only.
Well, that could be. Well, he likes Luis though, his sidekick.
He does.
And now, Toyman, we are going to meet Colonel Nora Hunter.
Well, before we meet Nora Hunter, we've got to mention that the Mandroid escapes on his mobile unit.
That's right.
Which is like a tank tread attachment. If you're a Marvel Comics fan, he looks like one of the Reavers. And that's how he escapes. And I also found it hilarious that this evil scientist who has crafted the ability to time travel and has this cyborg guy, his henchmen are two backwood schmucks.
Yeah.
Not just them. It seems like all the guys running around are just like locals from the area or something. But hey,
yeah, like
when you're like in a remote South American island base, probably hard to come by good henchmen. But I can already imagine a pretty excellent deluxe toy set with the mobile unit and like some sort of like battle damaged Mandroid or something.
Toyman.
Yeah, and he's got the arm attachments like Trapjaw from Masters of the Universe to get different guns and everything.
Battle Android Trooper as well.
Yep.
They're similar to that.
Well, Toyman,
you can get on that. Or maybe Ryan Campbell will make some for me for Christmas. I don't know.
There you go. I'll get started on it now.
Better start now. We gotta. I think Mandroid to be the first release, and then you can work your way back. But yeah, now we're gonna meet Colonel Nora Hunter, and she's working on a robot of her own, Toyman.
Yeah, one that disappears and reappears out of thin air.
Yeah, kind of.
His name is. What's that?
He actually provides something to the team.
That's true. He's competent, unlike Orko. Go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm not a big Star Wars guy, but he's almost kind of like the R2-D2 of the Eliminators.
Yep, I was gonna get to that. There is a lot of Star Wars-esque parallels in this, and I'm not complaining about. I mean, there's a reason that they wrote the playbook. But yeah, this was very much like an R2-D2 type character. But it's also just really cool effects that they use when he kind of like turns into I don't recall what she describes the scientific term of like quays shifting or something like that. I don't know. But whenever they do that effect, it's pretty slick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Spot. He's good. Better than Orko.
He's good in a tough spot.
Okay. So she's like at this top secret research facility doing these top secret research things like building this robot that could teleport and shit.
I feel like attractive scientists in a top secret facility has been a common thread around here lately. We've done a few of those movies.
Are you? Well, we
even had one with a cyborg, but he was the bad guy.
Yeah. Well, we've got security guards. When one's a young security guard, he's like, there's a power surge on the east fence, but the old security guard has got his headphones on, Toyman, and he doesn't seem concerned. What do you think the old security guard was listening to?
Well, let's see. It's 1986, and he's old. I am going to think that he was listening to Beach Boys.
Okay. Very good.
I think it was the Golden Butt Horns he was listening to.
Oh, well. Very good. I didn't know they existed back then, but it's possible.
It's a time facility, Brain. He went.
Oh,
he went
you're
forward in
right.
time.
Could have, yeah, got it.
Well,
I
this
think
isn't
he
a
had
time
on some
dystopia.
surf in USA. He's getting ready for a vacation. He's waiting to punch out.
Yeah, it could be. Any answer would have worked there, and that's the one you chose. So the young security guard's like, well, I'm going to go check things out. And when he goes, like, the fence is completely bent, like Superman was there. And they're just like, oh, what the hell's going on? And then he goes back to the guard check, but the old guard is knocked out. Then the young guard gets knocked out. And Spot over in his little room is like, uh-oh, there's some trouble. And next thing you know, we get the meeting of Mandroid and Nora. And he needs her help.
I love how, and this movie wastes no time too. Like we're like 5 minutes into the film at this point.
Right. Well, we got to get these.
This thing is moving at a brisk pace, but I never feel like it's almost too fast. Like we're just, clicking it down, man. He's already traveled through time, had his best friend killed. Like we're flying through this thing. Good stuff.
And well, and that's Empire did not overstay their well, and Full Moon, it's like some of their movies. I mean, those Trancers movies barely hit 80 minutes, so they're not ones. They're just going to get their story out there and move it along. But they don't have time for this. And some of those Puppet Master movies, they just re-show footage from earlier ones, and I think
they're like recaps.
Right? They only shot like 32 minutes of new footage, but it's
it works though. I mean, sometimes when you watch like a lot of those old, like even like the Mystery Science Theater stuff around that time, and they just drag on, and you're like, either they just didn't know how to shoot the scene or edit the scene or what to do next. But this thing is really well paced for what it is. Like, I mean, there's some stuff in a modern day where you dwell a little bit more on some relationships and dynamics and things like that. But for sitting there and just watching this movie for a cool, 90 minutes or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Let's move.
It felt like an extra long episode of something like the A-Team. It felt like a two-parter or something from one of those like 80s action series. It could have been, I mean, this really could have been a weekly series when you think about it.
Mm-hmm. I would have watched I would have had the box set right now sitting on my shelf. But yeah, so Mandroid's like, she's like, oh, wait, I recognize that's my work. Reeves has bastardized my designs.
I knew you would appreciate that.
The old pay for the research to kind of siphon it off as well for your own maniacal needs.
Sign that thing. Anything you come up with while you're working for me is property of me.
That's right.
So Mandroid's like, I got to go to Mexico to kill Reeves. And then all of a sudden he gets some Mandroid versus the Romans flashback. And Nora's like, you know what? You need a full-time mechanic. I'm coming with you. And plus, I need to find out what this bastard Reeves is up to. So she's got 2 reasons to go. And now we go back to Mexico, and we see there are river guide rivals, Ryan Campbell. River guiding is a hell of a business, and people are fighting each other. And we've got Bayou Betty and Harry Fontana.
I'll tell you what, Brain, that is the highway of South America is that river, Brain. And that's where the commerce goes. That's what people use to travel. That's what goods and services are used. Like that's the lifeblood of the area. So yeah, these are the truckers of that area. Okay. And likewise, they're hanging out in a very truck stop diner-esque / Mexican cantina environment. Like on the inside, you would assume it's like your standard, Route 66 truck stop diner scene with truckers, but then it's in like this, outside in Mexican small town. It was a very weird vibe there, Brain.
It's an eclectic establishment, one might say.
It is.
And Harry Fontana, played by Andrew Prine, who I remember from various episodes of Murder, She Wrote, Silk Stockings, and Weird Science, and Toyman remembers from Melrose Place, Dallas, and The Fall Guy.
Well, accurate, except I also remembered him from Weird Science as well.
Okay.
I loved Fontana in this.
Yeah,
and wait, can we just time out that I always get razzed for my taste in television that is beyond my years.
Yeah.
And Brain, the first thing that you named is Murder, She Wrote. So I think you trumped me on this episode.
Murder, She Wrote is a damn good show because it has notable guest stars all the time. What do you think? That's not one I watched back in the day, though. That's one I've watched now as an older individual. A lot of them with my grandparents when they were still around. But yeah, you go visit on Sunday, and that thing was on like Cozy at the time. Murder, She Wrote. Just put the Murder, She Wrote on. Everybody's happy. Sometimes Yaphet Kotto shows up. Sometimes Ed Lauder shows up. Sometimes Andrew Prine shows up. You never know. So yeah, Harry Fontana, though, what a character. I know you enjoyed his interaction with Bayou Betty, Ryan Campbell.
I did. I enjoyed. He was giving off a lot of Han Solo vibes to me a little bit.
Yeah.
The kind of scruffy looking, in it for himself, but kind of with a heart of gold a little bit in there. You can kind of see through the cracks in there.
He's a scruffy nerf herder.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was a fantastic scene of him sliming his way, of course, and then Nora comes in and says that she needs the toughest person on the river, which breaks into a fight. And sometimes, Brain, it's better to be smart than tough. And old Fontana slips out through the cracks.
Yeah, very Mos Eisley. Looking for looking for a captain, and we need him. And so yeah, we get that. Yeah, he
got his own bucket of bolts that barely runs.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
It is, and it's called the No Questions, as a matter of fact. So yeah, when he comes out, looks kind of dishevels himself a bit, like he was involved in this bar fight, but he's the last man standing. So Nora hires him and then introduces him to John, who is the Mandroid, and he's in disguise, Toy Man. When you make these figures, you need to have Mandroid,
like the Zorro cape and the hat.
Yeah,
John. He's John Doe.
The John Doe in disguise Mandroid, and then obviously you need the separate.
It would be like John Doe parentheses Mandroid.
Right.
That's what it would say on the card.
And you'd have that hat.
I mean, I will say this: my boss did always love his variants. We did have, Brain, you can attest to this. We had many variants of the Batman 66 figures. So,
right,
if Eliminator figures were to ever come to fruition, I think that we've already talked about 3 different versions of the Mandroid so far: the regular one, the deluxe with the tank treads, and now the John Doe disguised Mandroid.
You know who
Mandroids
else?
for everybody.
You know who else had a lot of variants in your line? Jim Cornette.
He did?
Motherfucker! All right.
He'd tell you all about him, too.
FiguresToyCompany.com and Cornette's Collectibles.
That's right. You can get them. So then
it's so funny when I used to listen to that show and he would talk about all the trying to get them in stock and I never knowing that I would eventually be on a podcast with the guy that.
Yeah. See, it's a small world.
It is a small world.
Jim is one of the absolute best people that we have ever worked with. Very, very nice man.
Very loyal as well, because obviously there's been a lot, all kinds of figure things have popped up especially in most recent years, but he sticks loyal to Figures Toy Company.
He does. One of my greatest accomplishments in all my years there was talking him and negotiating with him and securing and producing the Midnight Express Anniversary action figures.
If only you could have got me my American Ninja ones. Now listen, Bayou Betty and her minion Maurice are now going to go like, hey, we wanted that fair, so we get our.
So now we're just going to kill you.
Right? We get ourselves a boat chase. But Harry's got like a drum of gas, and they're like, what are you doing? I saw this in a movie once, and he throws the gas drum, and he shoots it, and we get ourselves a freaking giant explosion.
Explodingboat.com.
Oh, it was good. And then Nora's like, your engine sounds like shit. She doesn't say that because this is a PG movie. But then she's like, I'll fix it. No, you're a woman. You can't fix it. So they're arguing. But while that's happening, Toyman, Bayou Betty catches up. And, she's got a nice boat, not like this piece of shit that Harry's touring the river in.
And
I do like how
that. What are you gonna say, Ryan Cable?
No, I was gonna say I do like how all their boats are like Florida fishing boats or whatever, not like you would think you'd have like a pontoon styled Mexican. They're just like people boats, but go on, Toy Man.
People boats indeed.
It's whatever they could get from the salvage yard.
They're like retired dentist boats.
But much like Brain, when I talk about Dallas and Dynasty, the Mandroid has had enough of this bullshit,
Right.
and he torpedoes Betty's boat.
Oh, isn't that nice? He's got a torpedo attachment. So she's out. Harry wants to know what the hell's going on because he noticed that freaking.
Yeah, he's been on this river too long to not notice when someone just fires a torpedo on your ship.
So then John like takes off his disguise. It's like, just shut up and drive. Bayou Betty's like, all right, Maurice, we're done with this river shit. We're going up to Alaska. And now Ray and Luis in the Quo Vadis speedboat. Oh, what a situation that is. Toyman's probably going to review Quo Vadis. It's like a 9-hour movie, though. He'll do it at like Easter time, maybe. Isn't that right, Toyman?
It's not on the list.
Okay.
Maybe I'll surprise you. Maybe it'll be a special edition of NSC.
Okay. It'd be like a 10-parter. Anyway, Ray gets the info he wants from Bayou Betty, and then he just takes off, and he thinks it's hilarious because he's Ray. So
He's
John,
a son of a bitch.
Yes. John's like, all right, we're getting real close to my plane wreck site because that's their first stop. See if he could figure out who he is, what's going on, all this. And he's like, you know what, we should go. Hey, we should go without Harry. So they're like, we'll go on foot. And Harry's like, what the hell? But now Nora activates Spot. That's right. He's along for the ride. And they're off on their own. But now Ryan, Ray and Luis catch up with Harry. And he's asking questions. Who were those people? What's going on?
Yep, they pull a gun on him and try to get Harry's gun from him. But Brain, again, this is Harry's savviness. He's not the toughest guy, but that's not what keeps you alive on this river. It's brains and your ability to get out of a tough jam. He pulls the old fire extinguisher hidden behind the map trick and sprays him with the fire extinguisher and jets off and gets away from him.
Now, Toyman, being the Italian,
does he come with a fire extinguisher in the Harry Fontana figure?
Can you confirm or deny that Quo Vadis stands for we kick ass in Italian? Did any of your grandparents or uncles?
I can confirm that is not what that means.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Because if it did actually mean that, I'm sure that some of my cousins would have said it ad nauseum over and over.
Yeah.
You just ruined my childhood.
You just found out.
It's actually Latin for where are you going?
Where are you going? When's Toyman going to review it? You know, I had a VHS copy of this, of Quo Vadis, at work, because Mr. Matt Spector thought it'd be funny if I think he went to the thrift store and found it for $1, and I just left it at my desk. Well, now that they've tore down that building, so if it was still there, it's gone now.
It's in the landfill.
Sorry, Quo Vadis fans. But anyway,
you don't know where it is what you're saying.
It doesn't know where it's going either. So Harry, he does the fire extinguisher bit, as Ryan said. Meanwhile, Nora and John find like an axe head, primitive tools. And Spot has now returned with the location of the wreckage. But Ryan Campbell, that axe head, they're not just going to talk about that for no reason.
No, and this is where some weird things start popping up. The things kind of kick into high gear here. If you think it's already weird enough that we've got like Mexican river chiefs and mandroids, we're about to add some cavemen to the mix, Brain.
I thought when you said weird things were popping up, you were referring to the wet T-shirt scene we were about to get.
It's a pretty tasteful wet T-shirt.
Well, this is a PG movie.
Yeah, she changes into a black shirt about as soon as she gets the chance.
Mm-hmm. Well, she goes in the water to get the wreckage, see if the wreckage has anything. She finds a picture. She ends up getting stuck inside there. Good thing for them, Harry shows up, and he's thinking these guys, they're after some kind of treasure. So they're just like, okay, they humor him. Yeah, okay, you get 1/3 of the treasure, and he's all happy. And
I love it. He thinks he's got him. He's like, I would have done it for 10%, but
yeah,
he don't even know.
he doesn't know. So now they're back on Harry's boat, and John is fixated on the picture that Nora found, and has more Roman Empire flashbacks. Harry and Spot are arguing. This is a little bit more like Han Solo and C-3PO. And then Harry makes this sharp turn, and boy, oh boy, you can't... Somebody as heavy as the Mandroid toy man, you can't make a sharp turn like that.
No, you cannot, because you end up... what was it? What did it mean? We kick ass? He's on his ass.
Yeah, I was going to say he was ass over tea kettle and into the water.
Mandroid overboard.
And so then Harry's like, they can't find him. I mean, it's probably murky. That water looked murky. And
like he said, there's 15 feet of muck down there, and you know that dude sunk to the bottom of whatever was down there.
To the bottom. He's in the muck and possibly the mire as well.
And he brings up a good point too. Even if he could find him, he'd need a salvage.
Yeah, he can't lift him.
Yeah, right. Pull him out.
No, you can't pull that.
Dude's probably like 2,000 pounds.
Whoa. Well, Nora's like, well, John would have wanted us to keep going. And he's like, all right, you're the boss. So now we cut back to Reeves, and he is making himself Super Reeves. And that's not a George Reeves mention from the old Superman show. He's just Super Abbott Reeves. And Ray and Luis show up, and they're like, oh, we got some bad news. The Mandroid is back, and also the Quo Vadis is on dry dock for a few days. And Reeves
we get a little Emperor Palpatine moment here, too.
Well, yeah, because he has electricity power now. Because he's super.
Get a little Spaceballs moment, too.
Yeah, he electrocutes Ray right in the balls. Ray kind of looked like he liked it a little bit. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Ray and Luis feel like, Ryan, you'll probably appreciate this reference more than Brain, but they feel a little bit like a Bulk and Skull from Power Rangers.
I can see that. Yeah, agreed.
I don't know what that means. Are you speaking English? All right.
I can hear that like noise playing in the background whenever they would show up.
So Reed's like, the Mandroid must not make it to the compound. And yes, as he said, Ray gets a bit tortured for that. Mandroid does reemerge. He did get himself out, and he's got Spot with him. It's like his pair. He's like Frankie in Coco Beware. He's got the spot on his shoulder.
Spot does have some water. He's a little water
draining himself too.
Yeah, he's got to take a leak to get some of that water out.
so yeah, Spot is like, okay, can you find Nora? And we cut back to Harry's boat. That they ended up in the shallow part of the river, which now he has to just like pull his own boat. This isn't good.
And the irony of the scene is that he said that they were in the deepest part. So
right,
Harry being Harry, old Fontana man, he I guess wrote a check. His mouth wrote a check. His ass couldn't, or his boat couldn't cash. I guess in this instance.
And but you know what's in that water? In that shallow water? A freaking caveman.
An anaconda.
No, not this time.
No.
It was a caveman trap.
Like all cavemen did.
Right.
Well documented that they used traps. Everyone knows this.
In the water. I'm not familiar with any cavemen water play. Usually it's just the cave stuff because they're cavemen.
Right. Well, they were in a new thing. Evolution happens. You gotta adapt to your surroundings. Yeah. They don't have dinosaurs coming after him here, so they have more time to figure shit out. I don't know. So we find out that Kuji the ninja, Conan Lee, he's been following the Mandroid, and he is Takada's son. What a treat, Toyman, to find the great Conan Lee in this film.
Conan Lee from the great Gymkata, which we have covered in the past.
And one that we will be covering at some point this year, Ninja in the Dragon's Den. What a fantastic... Oh, how we haven't talked about that one yet. That's got Actionversary.
That's one that I'm sure Ryan Campbell has yet to see. That'll be a first time.
I don't remember if I showed him that or not. I may have shown him that one. We'll find out.
It might be one of those ones where, like, I wouldn't remember it by name, but like a few minutes in, I'm like, I've seen this. Kind
I
of
feel like I may have shown you that one because
it seems like a Saturday afternoon before like we're waiting to go do something else, put it on kind of thing.
It's like, do you remember there was a music video at the beginning and ninjas were popping out of the sand? Do you remember that?
Maybe vaguely.
All right. Well, we'll find. It doesn't matter. We'll get to that when we get.
Yeah.
To
let's keep diving into this a little further. It's good content.
Right. Okay. Yeah. People are
enthralled.
They're enthralled by every word that comes out of our mouth. So back to Harry and Nora, who are fascinating to their Neanderthal captors. And Harry's like, you know what? You're one hell of a woman. And he kisses her and slips her some bullets. He said, here, throw these in the caveman's fire. Shh. And then later, not moments later, she's like, they don't understand English. But he's like, oh, I just wanted to kiss you, baby.
That's a moment where I audibly, like, sitting there at my desk watching this, went, Fontana. Actually said it. It's you, dog.
He's good.
He's good.
And that's about the time Kuji shows up, and he's got Nunchaku Toy Man. What the fuck? This movie's got everything.
We've got a ninja with his nunchucks. We've got a mandroid. We've got Fontana. We have a whole first wave of action figures right here.
Yep, and they find a raft, and now they're.
Can we get like a caveman, like a campfire play set with like a spigot that you put Fontana on, and you can spin them over a fire, kind of thing?
You do like the old caveman and the one of the younger ones.
Yeah.
Yep. You got to have the trap too that Harry's in. That'd be off to the side or something. But yeah, they find a raft, and Mandroid turns his feet into like a motor, and they just go zipping along. And now
could have done that this whole time.
Come on, you're right. Harry is ready. He's like, all right, there's kung fu people, there's goddamn robots. I don't care about this treasure anymore. I'm just done. But Nora convinces him, no, we need you, Harry. And he's like, okay, well, you guys got to tell me what the hell's really going on. So Harry's going to get filled in. And they find Mandroid's mobile unit that he hid in the jungle. But here come those bastards, Toy Man, Ray and Luis, and they're on like ATVs, and we're going to get ourselves some wilderness action right here.
And you would think that, I mean, obviously Reeves is probably not aware that the Mandroid is assembled this little group of friends. But again, you're sending these two schmucks out. I mean, even just going against the Mandroid, they're very clearly outmatched. And now they've got to deal with, again, the ninja, the adventurer, the scientist. It's like, come on, really? Like, how do you think this fight scene is going to go? We haven't really seen our heroes in any grave danger yet.
No. But it's coming.
Yeah, it escalates pretty quickly. And I think that is kind of like your point that like he kind of enlists these buffoons to guard the place. And you're like, you have access to all this tech. Why in the world would you do that? But I think part of it is he doesn't see anyone as a threat. So like you give too much high-tech weaponry to your mindless drones, and eventually they're going to turn on you. So it's almost like he keeps them.
Let's talk about it. Cobra Commander.
His narcissism.
Cobra Commander could tell you the problem. Cobra Commander has Destro, who is freaking smarter than Cobra Commander. One would say.
You give too many resources, and all of a sudden you got a mutiny on your hands.
Megatron had Starscream. I mean, you don't need you want just expendable underlings who aren't going to challenge you.
Give them just enough money to stay loyal to you, and also not enough to where if you got to cut them off, then it doesn't hurt you.
Right. So, but yeah, so we get the John and Harry team up to take out Ray. Nora and Kuji handle Luis. Then after all that hubbub, John's like, you know what? It's not worth it. Just dismantle me. Killing Reeves isn't going to help me out. I'm already dead. He's
having a rough day.
Yeah, he's having a crisis.
Who of us hasn't felt like that at some point?
Right,
you know what? Just dismantle me.
Dismantle me. I'm done.
Usually the cyborgs are searching for the humanity, and he's kind of like, you know what? I don't have any left.
Right. He's lost it. He's lost his way. But Nora's like, no, you're still a human, John. And then Spot returns, and I was like, okay, but this isn't the Spot that they expected because he's all malfunctioning, Ryan. He's going crazy, and next thing you know, he's like somehow delivering a message. Again, very R2D2-ish right here.
Yeah, a little bit. We never did see anyone ever like hack R2D2 or C3PO and make them like killer bots against our crew.
Yeah.
But yeah, once they do kind of break that programming, we do get a smoke hologram display somehow out of like the inside. It's not even like Spot is projecting it. Like it
right. Just
comes from his essence, you know?
Magic, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Reeves and he's warned, turn back. Ebenezer. Oh no, that's
the Wizard of Oz. Bring me the broom of the Wicked Witch.
So Nora is like, but Nora's like, oh, wait a minute. Let me do like the redial on Spot. Aha! The compound layout.
The old Star 69 dumb or something, right. Whatever it was.
And she
Star 67, right?
That's
wait.
No,
yeah, Star 67. Star 67 to find out who called you. Star 69 was to block your number.
69.
Yeah.
Anyway, the ventilation shaft, speaking of 69, listen now.
Never block a 69, listeners.
The ventilation shaft is the key.
Unless it's afterwards.
Okay. I can't right now. The ventilation shaft.
Not that I've done that.
Our heroes have to go. They can get in through this ventilation shaft that's just like on the side of the wall. Very low on the side of the wall. You would think
the same designer that did the Death Star built this compound.
You would think you want to like vent that like up higher or something. But you know what? Actually, no, because in today's world, the furnace stuff like it's right on the side now. But okay, doesn't matter. They got to get in that ventilation shaft, and can help him do so. Frickin' John, because he could just rip that grate right off the goddamn wall, and he does so. So he's like, okay, you guys go there. I'm gonna go right to the front door though, because I'm frickin' Mandroid, and I got to call out that bastard Reeves.
He's a distraction. He's a potent distraction.
So Nora, Kuji, and Harry get inside.
Did we touch on the fact that they have figured out that he has access to time travel? I don't know if we touched on that. Like they've cracked the code.
The cavemen realize. Yeah, the cavemen.
Well, I don't think we've described it to the viewers.
Right.
At this point, they know that he's capable of time travel, and they don't really know what he's going to do. But that maniac having access to time travel cannot be good.
Right. No, he's not probably going to get the sports almanac.
No, he's not going back to kill Hitler. That's for sure.
No, he's not doing that either. But
we talked about that caveman sequence so nonchalantly, as if like everyone listening has actually seen this movie. So people are like, "Where the fuck did the cavemen come from? What are you talking about?" Like, if you didn't know better, this absolutely sounds like the type of movie that like you could just like make up and say it existed.
I actually did not piece that together. When I first saw it, I thought it was just supposed to be like some remote villagers deep in the Amazon or something. Like it did not. I did not put two and two together for a bit. That they came from the time machine. So yeah, I just thought there was some indigenous tribe that was untouched. Okay,
could be like the Meg or something. They were in a crack in the earth. I don't know.
There are villages. There are islands out there with untouched people that they, for whatever reason, that humans don't go talk to them.
Well, they must be. If they're still around, they must be touching somebody. No, that's all I have to say. But so yeah, they get inside. They're inside the ventilation shaft. But now we got this big ass fan, Ryan Campbell, and those blades are sharper than a government mule.
Nothing presents a challenge to sneaking heroes in a big ass fan.
Right.
And unfortunately, Brain, any controls that could short it out are on the other side of the fan.
Right.
Never have I seen in all the movies where our heroes encounter a big ass fan, has anyone ever thought, oh yeah, they probably would wire it so you couldn't short it out from the outside. So they're bearing down. We've got both sides are now being filled in by minions. What are we going to do? And Kuji pulls off his Neo move and slows and jumps through the blades as they're going.
Perfect.
Not even slowed down. They didn't like jam a shoe in there to like slow them down. Nope. No, just freaking times it, jumps right through it. They do a really cool shot here where they obviously slow down the fan in the shot, like, but he jumps through in slow mo. But it's done really well. Like, you know, you can clearly see what's happening there. And once he gets to the other side, he's able to short it out.
Yep. So then the others can get through because the others obviously do not have the ninja skills and timing.
No, they don't have the glow like Kuji has.
That's right. And next thing you know, they're dropping into a room filled with artifacts, very like Indiana Jones, like dropping into the map room. And he's got all kinds of ancient Rome stuff. It's a very nice collection. And this is where they find out he's going to go back and make himself the emperor.
Yeah, he's got like some sort of declaration or document or something.
Yeah, But then
Harry was entitled to a commission, and that's why he wanted to kill him off.
Oh, you might be right.
Mandroid wants to go back and be the emperor of, or the pharaoh.
Maybe, perhaps. But greedy Harry can't help himself. He sees, the little gold leaf crown type gimmick, and he's like, "Oh, I want this. This looks like it's worth something." And that sets off an alarm. Meanwhile, John is outside the front door. He's bellowing Reeves' name, and soon he is surrounded by guards and finds out that his friends have been taken prisoner. And
off camera, I thought maybe they were like holograms or something. I don't know. I wasn't sure if they actually got captured because we didn't see it.
Well, Reeves demands that John surrender, and then he's like, "We're going to test out my latest weapon. Ray, go for it." Does he ever do anything with that weapon? I think Ray's instantly.
He's pretty excited about it, though. He's pretty pumped about this new
because he hates Mandroid. We established that earlier. He has a real hard-on for the Mandroid. And he's like, "All right, I'll blast him with the laser." But we get this whole courtyard battle. Toyman mentioned it. Our heroes really haven't been in peril. Now we finally get them where they're in some sort of danger.
It also kind of shows why I don't think anyone that Reeves was ever worried really about it. Like he just needed his minions to buy him time. Like he is very much overpowered. Like he does not sweat anything that they're doing. The only weapon they have is Mandroid, and he's literally built himself to be stronger than him. So yeah, he's not sweating what's going on. He just starts blasting at him, and very much they can do at this point.
Yeah, we get the Super Reeves versus Mandroid, and Reeves beats him. And
yeah, Mandroid's just taking it. He want to find some cover, man. Jeez.
He does essentially is wearing Tony Stark's armor at this point.
Yeah, he really is. And then he's got Kuji and Nora and Harry inside a classic shrinking force field cage. Ryan Campbell.
Yeah, I like it. Add a little extra element to it and whenever I see scenes like that, it just makes me get very uncomfortable, brain. Like not only is it getting smaller, but yeah, it's electrified, and you're like, oh my gosh. But Mandroid comes back online, pulls deep down from whatever's left of his humanity, and kind of shorts out the force field.
He does, yeah. He does like the RoboCop, just electrocutes himself. But
yeah, short it out.
But meanwhile, before that, Reeves is like, "All right, later, I'm going to ancient Rome." So now they've got to stop Reeves because he's obviously got a little bit of a head start on him, and he's in his time machine. But Nora's like, "There's still a chance we can change the settings," but she can't do it. And now, Toyman, we find out that Harry Fontana is an IT expert.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of that lucky touch, just kind of swinging his finger across that keyboard, give it a little dap with his fist, and boom. The whole machine just shorts out, and right when you thought Reeves had stopped in time, apparently he was still in mid-transition, and he just keeps going further and further back into the BC era.
Yeah, he gets there. He's this like primordial ooze is all around him.
Yeah, he's had like before the Cambrian explosion and all that stuff. There's like nothing, no life.
He is the ruler of nothing. That bastard.
I don't know what he breathes, but in all likelihood, he would have died as soon as he popped out of that
All right.
thing because there would have been lower oxygen levels at that
Exactly.
point in the year.
I mean, you're right, Ryan, because this movie's been so realistic up to this point that's you know what, this movie sucks shit. No, yeah, so
no,
yeah.
I already gave you the reasoning. His electric, whatever he's done to his body, has allowed him.
True.
He's able to.
There you go.
Well, he's also throughout the course of the movie, he's looked younger.
He
So
does,
like
yeah.
when we see him at first, he's kind of like old and like wrinkled and scarred.
Yeah.
Then we see him and he's kind of like, middle-aged or whatever, but he's still scarred up, but he looks like his face has been refreshed or whatever. And by the time he comes out in his, Iron Man Mach 7 armor or whatever the hell he's got going on, he's, no more gray hair and no more scar on the face. So there's something that's not even alluded to as to how is he managing to get younger. Like that's
He's
why I kind of threw in
siphoning
that
the
onto
time
you
energy
comment.
from the elements. I told you guys this.
Or has he
Everything
gone
he's
back-
getting is from that one spot. So like is ancient Rome like the center of the
How do we
fountain of
know?
youth? It's not like
Maybe he's
Yeah, it's
going back to whatever caused him to have that scar. Maybe he stopped it from happening.
Or he just keeps going back to younger
Or
selves
maybe
and-
he goes,
and
or yeah, he
swapping.
goes back to his younger self and said, "Hey, younger self, go back and do this."
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yes, swapping spots with your younger self. That's true.
So there you go. Because it'll be fine in the end. So yeah, that could be. It was just the pre-scarred up, the pre-gray hair, or he stopped and got some Just for Men. I don't know.
Could have been that down at the Madman Island convenience store, the CVS on the corner.
Right. So there you go. It's possible. But yeah, so Reeves, haha, you're the ruler of nothing. And that means our heroes accomplished their goal. And we had the great martyr moment from the Mandroid. And now, Ryan Campbell, your final thoughts.
What a fun adventure, Brain. And I really feel like the movie was added to by, if you guys listened to our podcast last week when we were talking about this film, you guys pitched it to me as going to your grandma's and having to come up with a story based on whatever toys were in the cast off box of toys that were at her house. And by God, that put me in such a correct framework to watch this movie, because the entire time, that's just the perfect description of what this movie is. It feels like something that I would come up with because, again, there's a lot of Star Wars adjacent themes to it. So if I was at my grandma's and I'm playing with, she's got a toy boat and like a ninja guy and some, there's a bootleg RoboCop figure. Like I could fully see myself coming up with what this movie was. Like I 100%, I'd have been like, oh yeah, I don't have my Millennium Falcon, but let's say it's a boat on the river and, he electrocutes his henchmen when they don't do right. Like, that you guys describing it that way made it such a better experience. I feel like I would have liked it anyway, but that just put me in such a right mindset to watch this movie. It was a good time. I really enjoyed it. It's a fun adventure. Fontana stole the show for me. I just loved his character. And yeah, it was a good one. This is a good one, Brain.
All right.
Setting a high bar for 2026.
Okay. Toy Man, your revisit.
This is the perfect weekend afternoon movie. It's the perfect late night movie. It is just a breeze to watch. It's a fun one. It's not anything too graphic. It's not anything too gory. It's not anything too complicated. Just perfect to turn your brain off television. It's got that cool factor, like we said, of kind of being like action figures come to life. It's a fun one. It's one that I'm definitely glad that I stumbled upon. I've become a big fan of it over the years, and I'm glad we get to talk about it. This is what you call a video store classic, even if my first experience with it wasn't directly through the video store. This is prime content from what these studios were putting out in the mid to late 80s.
Yeah, Empire was so good about just the genre mashups. I mean, this has a little bit of everything in it, and all of it's all good stuff that they mashed up together. And it's definitely one of those where, again, I was just like, where, it's always amazing. And I mean, it still happens from time to time where I'm like, how did I not know about this movie? And that, again, goes back to what we've talked about many, many times. It's just how much great content was coming out in the 80s and 90s where you couldn't keep up with it. Even if you were trying to, you still probably missed a few things. And I'm glad this is now, something I watch every so often. And I'm glad we did talk about it here. What a fine movie, Eliminators, and happy 40th anniversary to it. Let us know what you think about Eliminators on social media. We are at Bulletproof Pod on X and Blue Sky, and at Bulletproof Action on Instagram and Facebook. The YouTube channel, we've got a brand new show over there on the YouTube channel, Ryan Campbell.
That's right. We are doing Bulletproof Reaction, and we recently did our first episode taking a look at the new Masters of the Universe trailer. You've seen reaction videos. You know how it works, but it's the three of us breaking it down. I was watching it for the first time and then kind of giving our thoughts, talked a lot about toys, talked about expectations and all those kinds of things. It was a good conversation. Go check it out. Let us know, pros and cons, what you liked, what you didn't like, and start thinking of some other stuff we can do more. It's pretty easy to just pop up and do a reaction video. So those are really fun to do. So go check that out. We certainly appreciate it.
And we should be having some more exclusive YouTube content coming as well. So again, if you're not already subscribed, if you haven't already clicked that bell, by God, what are you waiting for? Do it. And you know what else you will be waiting for is our next episode, because we got another doozy lined up. Toyman, we're going back into the seasonal films. Well, this one is a great one. 1995 Super Fights.
You and I have talked about this one back and forth for years now. We've always kind of mentioned that this one needed to be on the list for us to record about, and we're finally going to get there. It's a little bit of martial arts, a little bit of pro wrestling. Like you pitched it last week, was Keith Vitale as Vince McMahon. So it's almost a little bit of a wrestling double shot because what better week than Royal Rumble week to put up Eliminators when the match that is most famous for people getting eliminated
is
coming on. As I was going to say a pay-per-view, but as a PLE, whatever they want to call it now. And then we're going to follow that up with a movie that not only has a lot of basis in wrestling, but features several prominent wrestlers as well.
That is right. It is, again, Super Fights. Looking forward to that one. Anything else we want to talk about before we wrap this one up? Ryan Campbell, you have anything else?
Just continuing the coverage of a Night of the Seven Kingdoms on the site as the new Game of Thrones universe show. Viewership was a little bit down in the first episode, but I think it's just not as epic and big as the other shows. But I feel like it's going to find an audience. So if you are checking it out, follow my coverage throughout. They're much shorter episodes. They're only a little bit over 30 minutes, so it's not like a heavy lift like a lot of the Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon episodes were. So it's a good time. So come check it out with us.
All right, Toyman, did you have anything else you want to talk about before we go?
Nope. Just a reminder to stay tuned for that NSC so we can see if we can get Under Oath a little bit more attention online. Stay tuned for that this coming week.
That's right. All that on bulletproofaction.com. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, stay tuned for more of the Bulletproof Podcast.